Welcome Algebra 1 students, this is Mrs. Parsons, and today we are talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. So I have three lines graphed here. The red line is 1/2 x plus 1, the blue line is 1/2 x plus 2, and the green line is negative 2x plus 2. So first I want to look at the red and blue lines. What do you guys notice about them? And specifically, what do you notice about the slopes of these two? So you should notice that the red and the blue lines are parallel lines, and you should notice that their slopes are the same, but their y-intercepts are different. Now let's compare the red and the blue lines to the green line. What do you notice about those, just looking at them? And what do you notice about the slopes of them? So you should notice that the green line is perpendicular to the blue and the red line, and the slope is the opposite, meaning these guys are positive, and so this one is negative, and the reciprocal, meaning that I flipped the fraction over. So instead of being 1/2, it is now 2/1. Okay, so to sum that up, so parallel lines have the same slope, but a different y-intercept. Lines with the same slope and the same y-intercept are going to be the exact same line. And remember that the y-intercept shifts the graph up or down. Parallel or perpendicular lines, intersect at a 90-degree angle. Slopes are opposite reciprocals. So for example, if I had 2/3 x, I would flip the fraction over and make it a negative. So can you think of any other examples of opposite reciprocals? So I want to know the slope of the line that's parallel to negative 3x minus 7y equals 21. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what the slope of this guy is. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides to give me negative 7y equals 3x plus 21, and then divide by negative 7 to give me y equals negative 3/7 x minus 3. And I know that the slope of parallel lines are the same, so the slope of the line that's going to be parallel to this will also be negative 3/7. Okay, what about if I want it to be perpendicular? I know that the slope is negative 3/7. So if I'm going to do the opposite reciprocal, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to make it positive now. So my new slope would be 7/3. Now I want to write the equation of the line that is perpendicular. So now you're thinking opposite reciprocals to y equals negative 1/2 x minus 3 and passes through the point 2, 1. So I need to know my new slope. Well, perpendicular, so it's opposite reciprocal. So my new slope is going to be the opposite, so it's not going to be negative anymore, it's going to be positive, and I'm going to flip it over to be 2/1, which is just positive 2. So now I have a slope and a point. Slope and a point, so I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, and I'm going to plug in my point and my slope. So it's going to be y minus 1 equals 2 x minus 2. Now to graph this, I need to get it into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to distribute this through. Y minus 1 equals 2x minus 4. And I'm going to add 1 to both sides to give me y equals 2x minus 3. That means my y-intercept is negative 3. And I'm going to move with my slope up 2 over 1. And that will be my line. What if I want one that's parallel? Well, parallel means the same slope. So I'm going to keep the same slope as this line. So if this slope is 2, my new slope is 2. And I'm given a point. So I've got y minus 4 equals 2x plus 2. Distribute my slope through. 2x plus 4, and then add 4 to both sides. So y equals 2x plus 8. So then I need to graph both equations. Now when I graph it, they better be parallel to each other. So I've got minus 2, or minus 3 up 2 over 1. So this is going to be my first line, my original line. Now let's graph 2x plus 8. 6, 7. Oh, it'll be up here. And instead of going up 2, I'm going to go down 2 and over 1. And it will look like that. So, I mean, minus the poor graphing and the poor line drawing, you can see that they are actually parallel to each other. All right, so this one needs to be perpendicular. This is not in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to go ahead and write it in slope-intercept form. So when I write this in slope-intercept form, I actually get y equals 3x minus 4. I need to know my new slope, and since it's perpendicular, the opposite reciprocal. So my new slope is now going to be negative 1 over 3. And I'm going to use this point to find my new equation. Plus 3. And then I'm going to distribute the slope through and add 6 to both sides. And when I do that, I get y equals negative 1/3 x plus 5. So let's graph both of these. I'm going to go down 4. This is my original. Sorry. This is my original that I'm going to graph. So I go down 4, put a point, up 3, over 1. So this will be my original line. And then I'm going to graph the one that is perpendicular to it that we found. So I'm going to go up 5. I'm going to put a point. And then I'm going to move with my slope down 1 over 3. Oh. If I extend this one out a little more, you can see that these are perpendicular and they intersect at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so some key takeaways for today is that parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines intersect at a 90-degree angle and their slopes are opposite reciprocals.